Hey guys, it's me again, Orcslayer. What ifs? Where we last left off? Let's see. Checking. Where we last left off? What if Deku was Killer Croc? Probably gonna do a Lamenter next time. Finish off the sports festival. And then, let's see. Okay, so they know they got into UA. They went to UA, got through the whole practical testing with Aizawa, and Deku and Bakugo had a sparring match, which Aizawa felt like it'd be good to show off pretty decent members, pretty powerful, quote unquote, members of Class 1A, and how they fought, how they did. So, this is what he does. That's how they did it, and of course, Deku won. I'll be cutting over to a different group at the moment, because it's been a few months since, Sludge has gone away. Or a few weeks at the very least, and Deku's increasingly questioning, where is he, and they keep on trying to have to make up stuff to just keep him out of the loop. It's just like, he's away on a business trip. It's like, he's been gone a long while. Yeah, he's been promoted. What do you expect? It's like, Sludge was promoted. And Looney's like, yeah! Like, you could even ask Jackster. Jackster, of course, was offered a position, but it required him to be flying around a lot. And you know how he hates that. He's like, why doesn't he pick up his phone then? He's like, when the time he does get time to answer his personal private phone, he only has a few minutes or so before he has to move on to the next thing. He's constantly being flown around. You know how it is. He's like, no, I don't. I was never flown anywhere. As it's just like, crap, Jackster, help me out here. As he looks at Looney and he's like, kid, trust me, that's all there is to it. Deku's like, feel like you're lying to me. He's like, why would we lie to you? Because Jackster may have gone rogue again and gone in with the criminal element. I may have tracked him down and drag him back here. As Jackster just sort of does a head tilt, really? That's all you think? As Deku's like, fine, but if I find out you're lying to me, I don't know. It's like, then you don't know, don't say anything. As Deku's like, watch it. I care about all you equally. If I have to sit on both of you to get the information, I will. So he's like, sit on us? He's like, oh, you wouldn't. As Deku's like, try me. As she goes to say something again, but then she just puts down her finger and he's like, okay, he's scary. As Deku actually gets in contact with Kevin and Lot, asking how their school year is going. As is like, man, so far it's been fun. The first day was a bit hectic. It's like we got this really, really creepy teacher. They call himself Batman. Just like Deku's like, Batman? What, does he call on bats or something? It's like, no, he won't tell us what his quirk is. As Deku's like Deku's just rubbing his forehead. He's like, I guess that's their teacher. What's he like? Well, he wears a bat suit. He's like, what? And it's weird because Man-Bat actually does have a name. I just can't remember it. Every time I try to remember it, I can't. Because it's, I'm trying to remember. It's like something Dr. someone. So anytime I say Man-Bat, they're actually using his name. As then, he's a very, very serious teacher. He's like, what do you mean? He's like, well, somebody cracked a joke on the first day of Man-Bat and Batman. Man-Bat should be called Batman. Everybody started laughing, then Batman got a look in his eyes, and then everyone quieted down. He threatened to expel somebody. It's like, oh wait, your teacher did that too? It's like, wait, yours did? As they're sort of talking back and forth about how their teachers seem kind of crazy. Both sleep-deprived individuals who don't tell anyone what's their quirk, and that they just have gadgets. Deku describes Aizawa And again, Kevin describes Batman as Deku's like, Batman, Batman, Batman. I'll look who that is. And it's like, we've tried looking him up. Nobody knows who he is. The hero roster just has him placed at, like, I'll say Batman is still a pretty good hero. So I'm going to say top 20. But he tries to stay under the radar like Aizawa. Like, Batman is the greatest underground hero. I'll say that. And Deku actually will ask Aizawa later, who exactly this Batman is. Since, like I said, nobody really knows his secret identity. As I believe heroes are allowed to keep... Their information is known, but I believe some of them can, like, hide away, like All Might. I don't think people knew him as Toshinori, they just knew him as All Might. So that's how that's gonna work. As you know, we cut back to the next day, where Deku and Tsuyu are arriving at school, and they're like, I talked to Kevin yesterday, and she's like, I talked to Habuko. Kevin said they got a teacher called Batman. That's exactly like Aizawa, but worse. It's like, how could he be worse? He's like, somebody cracked a joke about his name, and he said he would expel the next person to say something like that. What? It's like, yep. He's an underground hero, apparently, so I'm gonna question Aizawa. It's like, you're gonna question him? I'm gonna ask him a question, alright? As he's like, are you scared of him? He's like, no, I'm not, but it is off-putting. He doesn't seem that strong, but I've looked up his quirk. It's quirk cancellation. Something like that shouldn't work on somebody like you or I. But I just get this feeling, as he describes it as like his natural instincts, as Tsuyu actually talks about how she feels it too, that their natural instincts tell them that Aizawa is a very, very dangerous person. As Deku can feel somewhat that Aizawa is what you would call... He's like not a poison dart frog, but he's more like... I'm trying to think of an animal equivalent. Yeah, he's like a snake. Is that you gotta constantly watch him, and if the split second you don't, the blink of an eye, he could kill you. As Deku's like sort of shudders at the thought, he's like, there were a couple of Yakuza and criminal elements like that. But never one like him. As he's like, well, as he cracks his neck, he's like, this is annoying. As he scratches his head, as he's like, damn, these scales, I need... As Deku's just like sort of starts lounging, as I'm gonna say, it's a bit early in the morning, as he's like, can't wait till the sun's high in the sky. If you didn't hear me, it's that he wants the sun to be high in the sky. So he's like, what do you mean, Midoriya? It's like, well, part crocodile, I like to lounge in the sun. It's like the best feeling ever. And she's like, I know what you mean. As Deku and her have a back and forth about conversations, just like, so, Midoriya, what do you think is going to happen today? He's like, hopefully not a lot. As he lets out like a little bellow as he yawns, that like, that here crocodiles make. As everybody on the train actually looks towards him, as he's like, I don't know, I don't care, I just want school to be... Who am I kidding? There's nothing as a normal day of school. Well, she sort of laughs, oh, imagine if it's All Might that's there. As they both share and laugh at that. As they cut to the day, and then you get All Might, who's like, I am here, coming into a position like a normal person. As Deku's just like, you gotta be kidding me. Let's get this over with. As they get in and they open the door, it's just like, so, Midoriya. Not Midoriya, but it's like, here are your hero costumes. As I'm gonna say this: Killer Croc, or Deku in this case. I don't really see him having a particular hero costume like his dad, or like Gang Orca. As Deku has actually thought about this, and he has thought over ideas. He's like, oh, what do I want my hero costume to be? I don't know. As he's just like, I guess I'll just put in, he guess he'll dress like Gang Orca, because he's just like, I don't know, maybe, he's really confused, as he's just like, as he actually talked to Gang Orca, what should my hero costume be? Because I don't really care. As then he's like, Gang Orca, thanks it over. And she's like, well, I go for a fancy suit because that's intimidating to my enemies. It's like, how is it intimidating? He's like, take this, we're both like close to 7 foot tall and nice clean clothing like a father would wear. Activates a natural instinct in them. It's like, wait, really? It's like, yep. It's like, whoa, crap. He's like, And he's like, well, why don't you wear a preacher outfit? As Deku just sort of does a spit take of something he was drinking. Like, why would I wear that? It's just like, you're believe in the Bible, you believe in God and all that. It would be, imagine it, Killer Croc, the priest hero. It's just like, no, wait, Father Izuku, or Father Daniels, or Brother Daniels. As Deku is like, please stop, that's embarrassing. It's like, haha. Well, anyways, it should all express about who you are, and also be practical. As Deku thinks about it, he's like, I guess a leather jacket with a hood, and jeans. As he thinks about boots, he's like, do I want boots? As he looks down at his feet, he's like, no, I won't do boots. Alright, as that's his hero outfit. So pretty much it's like, think about Suicide Squad Killer Croc outfit. That should be what you get. As Deku's thinking about it, he's like, yeah, that's good. As then they come out, as Deku is like stretching, he's like, they got it nice. It doesn't, like, it isn't too tight, and it's nice and loose. As he has a tank top under that, he's like, well, this should work. As he's stretching, eventually he sees some, like, as I'll say, he gets inside or outside more quickly than anyone, since technically he's pants, tank top, jacket. While you got Ida, who has like an entire freaking suit of armor. Oh, who actually would probably be the fastest to get ready? I would probably have to say Hagakure. She just gotta take everything off, and it's like boots and gloves. That's all I need. Probably Hagakure. Invisible girl. Fastest for the girls. Fastest for the boys. Cannon. I would probably have to say. That's actually a good question. Wouldn't be Shoji. Maybe Koda? It wouldn't be Kirishima's, because he's got the mask, the 2 arm things, and waistcloth, combat boots. Maybe. Might be Kaminari. Or, yeah, Kaminari, actually. But I digress. Why am I thinking about this? Anyways. As Deku, it gets to Deku versus, not Deku versus, but Deku and all of them are standing out there. As Deku was actually able to talk to All Might one-on-one for a bit. It's like, how long you got? It's just like, I got enough time to teach this class, and then the one with 1B. It's like, really now? Like, really? He's like, yep. It's unfortunate, but I've had to cut down my hero thing way low, and One for All's passing quite quickly since, It's like, what do you mean it's passing quickly? It's like, well, One for All is the ability, the faster the next generation learns how to use it, the faster it leaves the generation that came before. It's like, I have full control. It's like, but you don't have the full understanding, full mastery. I have complete mastery over it. You don't. That is why I still have it. You're still learning every intricacy with it, you could say. It's like, okay. Now you're pretty close to basic novice mastery, but you need to get more fine-tuning in, I would say. It's like, okay, I'll try to take it slower for you. It's like, oh, hell no, get freaking power level that. As soon as you get done, I can just retire or something. It's like, what would you do in retirement? Hair. And it's all might take a second to think. It's like, well, I would sit back, relax, and maybe spend some of that money I have. It's like, what do you mean? Like, I'm the number one hero. I get a mighty big paycheck because of that. It's like, wait, really? It's like, oh yeah. It's like, what would you, how much would you say? As All Might just gives him a brief estimate of what he should get as one paycheck. As Deku's like, jeez Louise, why in the world would you be given that much? He's like, well, think about this. I'm All Might. Merchandise, as All Might goes down the list of, since he has so much signings and all that, like, merchandise deals, the Hero Association, personal investments, as All Might talks about, he has actually investments in High Island, which makes him even more. As Deku's like, you're a billionaire. It's like, more along the lines of the millionaire. It's like, Deku's like, also, have you ever heard of a superhero called Batman? As All Might's like, Batman? Wait, have you seen him recently? He's like, he's teaching at school. A couple of my friends are going to. Why? It's like, then it's like, All Might, what are we doing here? As Deku and All Might get done talking, as Deku looks around and sees Suyu, as he's like, oh boy. As he sees Suyu, as he's like, why? Oh. As, I'm gonna say, as Uraraka says, skin tight. All of them are aged up in this, remember? But as Deku's just like, why is it always tights? Why do all the female superheroes wear tights? As he's like, hey Suyu. She's like, Deku? And she's like, she's like, you look nice. He's like, oh, thanks. I was trying to talk over with Gang Orko what to wear. I could never figure it out since, I'm not classy like him. And she's like, I see what you mean. And it looks nice. You look nice and rugged, but not too bad. As he's like, also look at this. As he flips around and shows what's on his back, as it just says Killer Croc on it. She's like, why'd you put that on the back of there? It's just like, It's like, guess it seems like a part of a biker gang. Yes, I know. Why'd you put it on there? He's like, at least I don't have tattoos. But you got a cross around your neck, and I'm pretty sure, is that the Bible? Is that your Bible right next to you? In your belt? In your utility unit? As he's like, maybe he's like, Deku, it would be a good idea to leave that behind. He's like, no, it must always come with me. As she's like, there's no fighting with them. No fighting with them. Why did you bring it? She's like, as she gets a smile on her face, thinking a tiny little evil scheme. She's like, how do I look? And she strikes a pose. As Deku's just like, oh, yeah, yeah. She's like, As she smiles to herself and walks away, as he's like, that frog girl's gonna give me a heart attack. He's like, God, give me strength, please. As from way up in the heavens, I will, my son. Anyways, joking. Getting back to the actual story. As they talk about how they're gonna divide everything up, I'm actually gonna change it around. It's gonna be Suyu, Todoroki, since Deku and Bako have already fought, and Deku along with Animal Boy. Kota. There, that's his name. Kota. That's weird. Two people named Kota. As Deku and Kota, Deku's trying to talk with Kota about a plan. As Suyu's actually talking with Todoroki, he's like, "What's your quirk, by the way?" It's like, "Huh, can you summon ice from my left side and fire from my right?" Yeah. Or just, yeah, I'm pretty sure that's how it is. Yes, I think that is it. Fire from his left, fire from his right. So as she's like, all right, can you keep the ice to a minimum or at least down below? She's like, why is that? He's like, well, I'm a frog, and if you use it, I'll start going to hibernation. As he's like, really? He's like, yep. It's like, how does it work on the big lizard outside? It's like, she's like, well, Midori, Deku, or Izuku, or she calls him actually by the little nickname, the Little Croc, as he's like, Lil Croc. It's like, his real name is Izuku Daniels, but it's a cute little name I found out from a friend. It's like, alright, well, what does Daniels do? How does he work? He's like, I know you two are pretty close, so she's like, he may not look like it, but he's actually quite intelligent, considering. And extremely strong. I don't think we have a pretty high chance of winning this. That's unless you're able to just slow him down enough. As Deku is speaking with Kota, asking, how does your quirk work? How does, like, can you summon birds and all that, right? As Kota actually speaks, and since Deku is a lot of animal, he's actually able to understand Kota's little language. Now, this does not mean Deku can understand like other crocodiles. They're too bestial, let's just say, for that. But Deku can understand Kota when he's doing his little animal speak. And Kota can't necessarily control Deku, but he can be compelling. Let's say, like, Kota told Deku to pick up that can. Deku would want to go pick up the can, but he could choose not to. That's how it would work. As Deku's like, alright, jump on my back. He's like, what? He's like, send the rats and everything through the corridors and such, and I'll take us up through a window. It's like, that, why? He's like, well, so no doubt Suyu has told Todoroki about some of my strengths and faults. It's like, what are those? He's like, I don't like the cold, and that Todoroki guy got half hot and half cold abilities. Fire and ice. We don't want to get in that. So, you take your rats and such, whatever you can get, I guess, and have them get after Suyu. She actually does not like insects. It's like, really? It's like, yep, let's use this against her. As they take out the plan, he has Kota going from the top, while Deku actually goes through the second floor window. As he says, Todoroki, I know you're here. As Todoroki just begins freezing the bottom, as Deku's like, oh shoot. As he punches his way through the top, the ceiling, as Todoroki hears this, he's like, he just went straight up. As Deku actually takes a moment to just sniff around. As he's like, my sense of smell ain't the best, but that one smells like soba. And nice, good smell. So that must be Suyu. As he starts walking towards the staircase, as he's able to get up there, as Todoroki's like rushing up the stairs, he jumped through the floor. But being more calm about it, as Kota leads his army of, animals to try and take the bomb, as Suyu's just like, slapping him around with her tongue. Kota's like, as he sort of tries to use the same thing on Suyu, But she's more human than frog. More human aspects. So his animal voice isn't really able to do much against her. As Deku's pretty much trying to rush for the bomb, as Kodo's like, I need help, please. Your girlfriend, her tongue is, she's slapping me with her tongue. As he's freaking out, as Kodo's just like, the insects didn't do anything. I thought you said she was scared of him. She is, I never said she was scared. I said she didn't like him. How many did you summon? As he's just like, I summoned a spider. He's like, you summoned a single spider. He's like, I'm scared of insects, alright? And Deku's just like, oh, I should have checked more into that. As he jumps into the room and is actually making a beeline for the bomb, as he isn't using one for all in this exercise, as he tries to rush. Sorry. As he tries to rush past Suyu, as he's just like almost there, as he reaches for it, as then he's hit by a blast of fire, more blast of ice, as he's just like fucking cold, as he actually gets down low to the ground on all fours, as Suyu's just like, oh cold, as she's just like, Todoroki, what did I say? It's just like, you almost had the bomb. He's like, I know, but still, as Deku's on all fours, as he's like, turn up the heat, would you? He's like, surrender. As Deku's just like, no. As he swings his tail and actually hits the bomb, as like, hero team wins. Deku's like, suck it. As then he falls over, unconscious. As he's like, the cold. And I'm saying Todoroki summoned a lot, like a very low temperature ice. To where, like, took Deku down in a matter of minutes. And same thing with Suyu, as she's just like, hibernation, here I come, and she fell asleep, as Todoroki's like, ah, crap. It's like, Todoroki, heat them up. As Todoroki does that. And Kodo's just like, we won. As in the spider, he sees the spider crawling on his hand, as he screams. But that's where I'm going to be ending this one off at. I hope you guys will do this. Hope you guys continue to enjoy this. And yeah, no new news. Anyways, I hope you guys have a nice day. Hope you guys have a nice day, nice night, nice life.